All right, so back here on the 1978 Toyota pickup, it's raining, so hopefully the audio isn't super terrible. This will be a short video, just setting up the cross member. So I got this 1.75 inch square 1/8 inch pipe going across here in order to support the transmission. I had this mess with the pieces the mounting holes that come out of the transmission are at some goofy angle. So I showed you that last time. So I had to make some goofy bracket here, get a couple of bolts on it and tacked it in. I used a piece of angle iron so I could get, some weld on this side piece and on the bottom in order to make that be a little bit more stable. I still hate it because, those pieces come like here and here. You can see the weld mark. They're not real far apart from each other, and this bottom is just like super narrow. So, I needed to get something in here that was flat so I can set some mounts in place. I just ended up using the leftover motor mounts. If you remember, the kit came with 8 because apparently the later model Toyotas have 8 mounting points for the cab, and I only had 6, so I had these 2 left over, and so using those. Here's the transmission mount. I did sleeve them, and so there's a sleeve on the inside. I just got it clamped in place right now. I've been messing with all the angles. As I mentioned before, I wanted to make sure that this was at about 3 degrees, so I actually raised it a bit more than 3 degrees with the expectation that when these clamp down all the way, when I get all of the weight of the transmission on these, they'll smush down just a little bit more, that everything's going to settle a little bit. And so, it's a bit more than 3 degrees right now, and then the thought would be like it'll settle down and then it'll be at the right angle. So hopefully that's the case. And so, this was a big old pain in the butt because my frame's not straight, and then it's not square side to side, and it's not level. And so I just been nibbling away little bits of metal on the side, but you see my fitment's real good. So I got the pieces in there real well. And so the next piece, so I took a pencil and then just stuck it through the hole at the top here that I have for this mount, and then made a mark on this mount. And so then I got to drill a hole through here because I got big old long bolts that'll go through the bottom up through the top, and then there'll be a nut on the top of it. And so I got big old bolts that have to go through there. I got to drill that through, and then that needs to get sleeved also. So you don't want to just clamp on the square tube, even though it's pretty thick. It's 1/8 inch. I'll have washers on either side. The idea of having a hollow piece of metal in the middle is just not my style. So I got to drill that through, sleeve it, weld it, all that stuff. But yeah, looking pretty good here on the transmission cross member. So, all right, see you on the next one. Thanks.